Today, I want to talk about something that has been quite relevant in my life as of 2020. That is K pop. Now, I am someone that fell down the rabbit hole of absolutely loving K pop back in 2020 when we were all quarantined. So, really, I had nothing else to do rather than to find a new thing that I'm very, very interested in. Now, with liking K pop, I would like to discuss a subsection which is how K pop destroys your body image. Now, for those that are not quite interested in K pop and that they don't know much about K pop, let me just give like a short intro to the K pop beauty standards. Now, in every group, you see there is a position held by one person or two or three that is called the visual. Now, the visual position is the person, male or female, that is deemed most attractive, and so they are the people that are drawing in the attention of fans and growing the fan base. This is very subjective as to what beauty is. Beauty is a subjective thing, and it varies from culture to country and from person to person. I mean, one thing could be beautiful for me and not beautiful for someone else, right? However, in Korea, there are these specific beauty standards that are quite prevalent and they are found throughout the country. Let me read off these beauty standards that are just a little bit of what a long list of what the beauty standards are for South Korea. Now, these include a small face, a V shaped jawline, pale skin, double eyelids, big eyes, and a high nose bridge. And also, let me just preface by saying that boys and girls both have pressure to fit these beauty standards. Not everyone falls into this position because there is no way someone can fit all of them. However, people strive to have these beauty standards, and when these are not achieved, there is a lot of mockery that goes around online that talk about the ugliness of some people. One thing I did not list was thinness. I forgot to mention that it is incredibly important in the K-pop industry to be as thin as possible. Now, to achieve this very thin look, dieting is what idols will go through. And I don't think that dieting is the best word as it's more starving yourself. And this is incredibly unhealthy, especially considering that a lot of these idols start off in the K-pop industry at such a young age that you are ruining your body from the get-go of not giving yourself enough nutrition, and you are training for hours a day to perfect, your voice and your dance moves, that your body becomes something that you're not caring for, and it leads to malnutrition. I have seen some really thin idols, and people always say, the camera adds 10 pounds. I wouldn't even understand or believe my eyes if I saw these idols in person and how thin they would be. So, a lot of these companies, I know for a fact, when you are debuting, you will have to, the company will weigh the idol every single day and make sure that they are not losing too much weight and they're not gaining any weight at all. They need to be this specific weight, so they will be forced to go on a diet or they won't be given enough food, and in that way they are losing weight. That is incredibly unsafe, especially because these idols are training from ages as young as 11 years old, and that is incredibly unhealthy for your mentality and also physically. Another thing is that a lot of idols are forced to get plastic surgery, but the way that they phrase it sometimes is You can get this double eyelid surgery to make your eyes bigger, or you cannot get the surgery and be deemed, ugly. So a lot of the idols would rather take this surgery that their companies are paying for to permanently alter their face. Then online, after going through this immense surgery, you have to recover and everything, a lot of people online will have opinions about these alterations. And, they'll say, oh, she had a nose job, she had eyelid surgery, she, had some kind of, they shaved her jawline just to make this like perfect jawline. And people will come after it, these idols who have done tremendous work on themselves, and they don't even look like what they began with when you look at pictures side by side from when they were training to when they finally debuted. So they're under a magnifying glass for surgeries and for dieting, and if they don't fit this specific beauty standard, they are incredibly criticized. And if they do fit the beauty standards through, plastic surgery, they're again criticized. So there's no balance there. The other thing that the Korean beauty industry definitely upholds is perfect porcelain skin. Now, having pale skin is an incredibly highly valued Korean beauty standard, and I understand that this is a traditional beauty standard throughout many Asian cultures. However, with these idols, a lot of the makeup artists will put paler makeup on them so that they will even be more pale than the actual photo, than the actual, what they actually look like in real life. And this is horrible for the idol themselves to understand that them naturally is not good enough and they're not beautiful. Now, when you take the audience of these idols, K-pop idols, and they start to compare themselves to these idols with these beauty standards that are so highly valued, someone like myself who got into K-pop will start seeing themselves, in a different lens. Am I beautiful? Am I too fat? Because I'm not starving myself and I'm not applying paler makeup and I'm not have, big eyes. Am I beautiful? You start questioning yourself. And that is something that a lot of young people will go through because you're constantly comparing yourself. But when you compare yourself on TikTok, on Instagram, this is something that I went through. I looked at myself at these girls online and I was like, I'm not good enough. But that is an awful thing to realize because you need self-love as you grow up. It's something that you learn. You learn that to love yourself is also to accept yourself and accept that all the imperfections that you deem imperfect are what make you you, and there's no one like yourself. That's why when I started to watch K-pop, of course I had some self-doubt in myself. I thought that I wasn't beautiful. But when you take yourself out of your body for 1 second and understand that these idols are under constant pressure by their companies to be this perfect standard, and they have so much pressure on themselves, and they're so young, that I began to look at myself and think, I am so lucky to be in a position where I can control everything that I do. I can eat whatever I want. I can wear whatever I want. I have complete freedom of myself. And I choose to love myself, not to live up to a beauty standard, because beauty itself comes from many elements, internal and external. And you can't necessarily make a list, this all of these beauty standards listed, boom, 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 and you have to fit each one, and if you're not, then that means that you're not beautiful. That is ridiculous. So what I want to conclude is that specifically with K-pop, these idols are under constant supervision. They are given plastic surgery. They are forced on diets, that make them this quote unquote perfect ideal body. But it is completely unattainable because at the end of the day, we are all human. We all have faults, and there isn't this beauty, this one definition of beauty, of what beauty is. And I just wanted to bring that up and just let you guys know. Knowing that you are beautiful is the most beautiful thing. I hope you guys enjoy this talk. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.